of the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
Good morning. Santa Barbara Teen Sports listeners, I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
This is a whole hour of Santa Barbara Teen Sports. Oh, the whole hour. Wait a second. Of Santa Barbara Teen Athletes. Woo! And all those people and businesses that support those teen athletes. That's because I didn't get any breakfast this morning. I don't know why.
Here's coffee.
I got coffee. Thank you. I need my coffee. You can't miss breakfast. Dr. D, you know you cannot miss breakfast. It's not good to miss breakfast.
That is true.
You got to have your breakfast, got to have your coffee. I got up a little late this morning. It's not good. I don't know what happened. Do you ever just like look around, stretch, and everything like this, and oh my God, the cry went out. Oh God, this is bad. Have you overslept yet this year? Kahla Stern's in the house.
Yeah.
Really?
Good morning. So I've actually been so good this year. Like I'm waking up on time, and then Tuesday, I don't know what happened, but my alarm decided not to go off, and I was late to my first class.
The alarm.
It was kind of awkward strolling in, and it was like, oh, like guess who got extra sleep today?
Well, how do we like Laguna? Do we like it?
I love it. Yeah, it's been definitely a big change. My favorite thing about it is I feel like it's a very college atmosphere in a way. I guess I feel like it's really a pre-college school because of how the whole schedule lays out, and then the students are just so welcoming and so nice and inclusive, and I've really loved it, and it's been like such an easy transition for sure.
Well, it's been because you did the freshman year at Bishop. Well, you moved, from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
Okay, that was a transition to go to California.
Definitely big transition.
Huge. Okay, had that little southernness come over here. So you go from like that to the California. So then did the Bishop, which is awesome school. Okay, now the Laguna, and then you travel a lot as well. So let's tell the audience, what you're doing, because you got a job.
Yes.
What do you do?
Yes. So a few years ago, I started doing modeling stuff, and then recently I've been getting asked to do some runway things, which has been such an amazing experience, and I'm so blessed to have had the opportunity to do this. And so I have gone to New York Fashion Week twice, and I've gone to LA Fashion Week twice, which I went this past weekend, and I walked for a designer named Michael Lombard, which was it was incredible because his whole kind of design thing is leather. And I've kind of been used to doing more like dresses, and this was like so edgy. And I had like a face mask over my whole mouth, which was hard to breathe in, but super crazy. And I feel like doing this has taught me so much just about how to work in the professional world, and then has let me use the passion of fashion. And it's been great, yeah.
That's so beautiful. Do you like to draw, or what part of fashion are you interested in being a part of?
Yeah, so I do love walking and being behind the camera, or not behind, in front of the camera, but height is definitely an issue because I'm only 5'7", need to be like 5'8", 5'9", so praying to get taller, but I have sketched some different designs before. I haven't really shown them to anyone, but if the runway photo stuff doesn't work out in the future, I would love to do some kind of businessy side of it, which would be really cool. And hopefully go to Paris, maybe. Maybe.
Paris is beautiful.
Yes.
So what made you get involved in all this? Was it something that your mom said, hey, do you have an interest? Or you just picked up and said, hey, I want to do this?
If you looked at her, I think they found her.
So when I was like around the age of 9, one of my brother's best friend's mom had a sister who worked with Ford, and she was like, oh, like Kahla would be such a good person to be in the model world. And so my mom's like, okay, why not? So we ended up just sending in my information to a few different agencies, and I ended up working with Wilhelmina for a couple of years, which was really cool. And then I kind of went through that awkward braces stage, so I took a break, and then just these past few years I've gotten into more runway, which is a totally different thing. And I feel like personally I'm better at runway because I like getting in front of people, and when you're in front of the camera, it's different because you don't get to kind of express who you are like in front, like you yourself, and I feel like that's such a big part of who I am, is being up in front of people, which is why runway is something that I love.
Would you consider doing any theater?
I've done some theater at school before, but singing is not one of my talents, I would say. So it's super fun. I love being on stage, but I haven't really done a lot of theater stuff. But I am looking at doing the school musical this year just for fun.
Excellent.
So.
Excellent.
Okay, so the crossover, because you're a great athlete. So, like, compare those two. Like walking, okay, on the runway, and then like your soccer, and then like you play also volleyball, just pass the volleyball. So compare those two.
Yes, so that would be definitely two different sides to me. I have my super competitive, athletic, destroy my enemy in the game kind of attitude, and then I kind of have my like fashion-y, all that kind of. So it's definitely different. I feel like in the fashion world, it's in some ways you're kind of like promoting yourself, and when in sports you're promoting your whole team and like trying to work together as a team. So it's definitely two different things. But I don't know. They're very different. Yes.
Do you find there's any like bravado that you may have in fashion that leaks into playing soccer?
Like, look at me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe with all of our questions, you might notice something.
No? No, it's a little different, right?
Yeah, it's different.
Because it's true. Because the other one is like more like it's like you say, I'm going to crush you,
and then
you
don't care what you look like.
Exactly, right?
If you're
Yeah,
sweating,
exactly.
if you have makeup on.
Yeah.
And one of them, you're trying to look your best. So
Susan Westberry's in the house. It's all right. We're gonna break with protocol because you do know each other.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
She was in for a commercial. We'll let her talk about that in a second. But go ahead.
But they're both very competitive.
yes, for sure. There's the biggest thing I feel like is the difference is team versus not team. But yeah, the fashion world's crazy. It's definitely there's crazy moms, crazy models, and you
Helicopter mommy.
Yeah, yes, like the moms like strut in with like their model mom shirts on and all that stuff. But
Your mom's not like that though.
No, but I wouldn't be where I am today without my mom. Like, my mom is, like, my number one supporter. Like, I do not know where I would be without her. She is absolutely amazing. But, yeah, it's definitely very competitive. And you kind of have to know who you are as a person when you go into that and not take on that kind of... There is a negative environment to it, but you kind of have to, like, pull the good out of it and realize that you're there to have fun. It's not all about being the best, and you just kind of have to do you.
Yeah, to be unique as far your uniqueness, I think, is you're authentic, and you are. Yeah, Dominique and I have said that. I mean, you're you. I mean, because there are so many good-looking, attractive people, but I think that's your niche. Is you are you, right?
Thank you.
You know, that's one of the things that I've appreciated about Teen Sports Radio and working with all the kids that come on the show as co-hosts is getting to know everyone's authenticity and everyone's unique point of view in the world and all the issues that they feel are really important to them. And everyone 100% have benefited from participating in sports, loving their school, being a part of the community, and then pursuing the thing they have a passion in. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, put your hands together. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, very proud of you. I knew as soon as I laid my eyes on it. Teen Queen. That was it. All those in favor? Yes.
I love this show.
No, we love you. We're very blessed to have you. I always look at it at the flip side of it because you are tomorrow. So we thank you for being here. Truly.
Of course. Anytime.
Seriously. Definitely. And then we're going to pass the mic to the right. Dr. Dale Figtree's in the house. We always love it when she shows up. It's okay. You're allowed to break anything that you want because it's yours.
I'm delighted to be here. Absolutely.
I want you to know that, the new changes we made to the water, a lot less apple cider vinegar. Yes, Rudy is happy, and Rudy, dog Rudy, okay? It's working. The fleas are falling off.
Is that amazing?
Yes.
Amazing?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we totally we did the dropper of the, because now it's working successfully.
And the tourmaline stone.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, because that stuff works now.
Should we re-announce it?
Yes.
Yeah, tell them again. And we're also using some lavender oil.
Well, that's new. I don't know about that. So there's always something to learn.
Yes.
So, yeah, a great way to get rid of fleas off of cats and dogs is to take their water bowl and buy a tourmaline stone. You can get it at like Paradise Found here. You put it in the water with a tiny drop of apple cider vinegar.
Tiny.
And the fleas stay away. You have to get rid of the flea, and it's good to comb the fleas off first. Once you get rid of them, they usually do not come back.
Yes, but you don't want to overdo the apple cider vinegar because then your dog doesn't drink any of the water.
Nothing.
It'll hit the toilets.
Exactly.
It'll hit the neighbor's pond, the fountain. Then you get the heat tummy. You'll have a couple of visits at the, the vet. You don't want to do any of that. But once you knock out the apple cider vinegar with a little dropper.
A dropper.
Don't pour it in like I did. Okay,
No.
And then it's perfect.
Yeah,
So,
great.
How's business going? Good?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm here to announce I'm part of a plant and food medicine conference.
Nice.
That's going to be at City College on the 27th, of Saturday. And there are 7 really spectacular speakers. And I've been honored to be invited to be one of them. And so it's in the Independent. One can read about it. But just something to check out. I think it's going to be just a wealth of fabulous, useful information. And I'm excited about it.
Great. And you brought a guest today?
And I did bring a guest.
Well, after the break, but who did you bring?
Do you want me to?
Just say his name.
Okay, it's Richard.
Nice, Richard. Richard,
Yeah.
We're going to get to you after your break. You look so in the corner. He's got a nice smile.
A very,
It's
very
cute.
special young
And then
man.
Dominique, you brought a guest.
I did.
You're going to say who it is? You're going to surprise us.
Gordon Coburn from SBCC.
All right. And then he also brought Eden Brewer. That's really excited. And she's already filled up this whole book, and I'm really excited to talk to her as well. So let's take a little break. This is Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. All right. Well, this is going to go back, some time. You've been friends with, you call him Gordy, right? See, that's how you're friends when you've got little nicknames with each other. That's adorable. All right. So I'm going to give you the mic, and when you first met Gordy, how long ago?
So we met when we did this great event called Breakthrough. And Breakthrough was something that Mick and Tess, who have now retired, but they're famous in Santa Barbara for doing Breakthrough events, which is a group of people, between 8 and 10 people, get together, and we practice singing. And none of us are necessarily musically inclined, but the idea is to break through wherever your previous boundary or border was of what you thought you could do and break into that space of being that you access more freely when you do something that sort of knocks you out of your comfort zone. And so what we do in the Breakthrough is we work with music and songs, and they help select a song that we then eventually perform with a live band behind us at Soho. Nice. So I literally have a recording of
and a video.
And a video. Let's see. I sang "I Am Woman."
You're a mother.
I'm a mother. And oh God, who was the group? I can't remember the group now. But I remember singing with you. Well, I danced and you sang.
I sang "Leave Your Hat On."
That's it. But it was a really amazing. How can I say it? Transformational. 6 weeks. They do it between 6 and 8 weeks.
6 weeks, and then we went on stage, and we found out that we could do something that we didn't think we could do.
Nice.
And then it was, and that was where the transformation was. In that, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since.
Yep. And we have a group of friends that have been continuing to meet every couple of months and just keep track and just share the different things that are going on in our lives. But it's just this core group of people that just have a whole bunch
we
of...
We did this in August of 2012.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
So it's a soul group.
Yes. Very much a soul group. And Gordy, you've gone on to continue with singing and...
Somewhat, but nowadays I sing in the shower and sometimes in the car.
But part of the point is, any music teacher will tell you this, anyone can sing. There you go. Right. Now you're singing. Just carrying a tone is singing.
hanging out on a vowel. That's what singing is.
Yeah. So we highly, highly recommend it as part of blossoming all parts of your nature to take on singing. But Gordy's here today because he is the department head of a very important department at SBCC. I'll let you introduce yourself, Gordy.
Yeah, I'm the chair of the Addictive Disorders Counseling Department at Santa Barbara City College. And what we do is we train counselors for state certification. And so part of the requirement is to go through our program or programs like us in other community colleges, and then go through 2,240 supervised training hours and also pass a state exam to become certified addiction treatment counselors.
And this is all something that if teens are interested, what kind of things can I do as a career? This is all offered at SBCC.
It is. It's offered at City College, and we brought one of our students with us today who's in her first semester, and she's very enthusiastic.
Yes, my name is Eden, and I am actually a new upcoming student in the ADC program at City College. I've been Gordon's student for a couple months now, and it's been an incredible experience. I'm really fortunate that I was able to stumble across this program in the first place. I just think the whole point of the entire program is just educating youth and people that are interested, whether they're going through recovery or they're an ally or a friend of someone who's going through substance addiction. I just think that it's a great platform and educational outlet for people that need more information. So I'm pleased that I am fortunate enough to know him and have him specifically as a professor. It's been an incredible experience so far.
I actually have a question. So I know at my high school, and I feel like a lot of high schools, there isn't a lot of discussion of these kind of topics because it's kind of, not uncomfortable, but can kind of, it's a sad topic, so people don't really want to talk about it as much. If I was to want to bring someone into my school to have someone talk about this, how would I do so?
Well, I think there are lots of different people who could do that. The recovery community in Santa Barbara is very strong, and there are people who go into schools and also hospitals and jails and talk about those kinds of things. But I think we could, if you want, I could probably arrange to have a younger person in recovery come in and talk to your students if that were what you wanted. We've done that kind of thing before.
I think that, honestly, though, I think it's about kind of recognizing your own role in your friends' lives and kind of taking on a little bit of culpability or responsibility for how you treat other people and how you continue to add to the stigma surrounding addiction and how often it does occur within adolescents and youth, especially in high school. That's usually the early onset of symptoms that, later become more full-blown and active. But I think now it's about recognizing just the symptoms and educating yourself on what addiction looks like in adolescents and friends, and then not being afraid to just establish boundaries with your friends and to communicate clearly with people that you care about what you believe is harmful to them. I think that friends should definitely be willing to hear that out from you.
Yeah, I think we do need to talk about it. I mean, I think shoving it under the rug doesn't do any good. You
bring up a good point, because basically we're talking about mental health, but mental health, physical health, emotional health, whole being health. So perhaps the way we can make this conversation be more vibrant and strong and not necessarily shameful or sad is just looking at it as, hey, what can we do to create safe environments so that people don't have to pick a drug or a substance to be their ally, and they have human beings, or they have positive habits, or they have so many other things to be their ally.
I know. I think we make a tremendous mistake in telling kids drugs are bad, don't do drugs.
I completely agree, yeah.
Because they're adolescents, and what are adolescents? But they're looking to form an identity. That's what their task is during adolescence. And how do they do that? They rebel. So we tell them not to do something. That's the first thing they're going to do. So we need to talk honestly with them about it.
The sad thing is, for most adults, the time that the conversation comes up is when a student has died. So, recently, I know at Bishop High, there is an alum who has recently passed away, and so grief counselors are at the school and so forth. And the sad part is, we should have had these conversations sooner with our kids. So better late than never, but making this a more natural conversation that needs to be had is a beautiful thing. So your question's a really potent one.
Yeah, you don't want to, you get those, every few years, for our prayers. And I had, 4 or 5 live with me during my oldest son's, when they were growing up, because these kids didn't have any place to stay. So within this school year, and, you do what you can do in any community. And I'm not the only parent that's done that, reached out. But I've told my boys, I said, you're going to lose some friends and you could just do what you can do. But you just wish that there were more services for these kids in school. And there aren't.
I think it comes to play with education 100% in America. Like when it comes to substance abuse, is essentially needs to improve drastically. But a lot of it comes down to parental efficacy, and a lot of the times just the denial that parents have, and kind of the initial shame that parents pass down before their kids are willing to communicate. I mean, telling kids like I don't want you to do drugs, or like not now, you're too young, or even just saying that they can't, like making it not an environment where they can come talk to you about it if they do it without knowing that there's consequences, really just affects that child's relationship with honesty and trustworthiness, and really their ability to essentially diverse themselves into addiction. I mean, that's what causes them to really want to do it more, is feeling like they're isolated from their family and they can't talk to their parents without them understanding. And so parents, you only hear about it when it gets to the absolute worst point of death, because kids don't feel comfortable reaching out to like adults, like in that position right now. I'm dealing with that firsthand. Adults, like especially ones that are dealing with their child being chemically dependent, it's a hard realization. It's hard to accept it. It's hard to understand like what you can do. And a lot of it's outside of what you usually would want to do. I mean, it's about saying, I don't know what to do. How can I get help for you? Because when you say, that's all I know how to do, you end it right there. You create that person's further involvement in substance abuse. So it's about just being there for your kid, letting them know that they can communicate, not saying just say no, and not being like, oh, if you do this, it's going to happen to you. It's more of just being like, if you have questions, like come to me, just like, here's why it's bad, not scaring them or creating a stigma, or like, that whole just say no Nancy Reagan thing, like that didn't work out, and so we need to elaborate on the education behind it, which is why the Addictive Disorders Counseling Department program at City College is so great, because it's an easy certification. It takes a couple years, faster than an associate's degree. And I mean, as an ally or someone going through it, it's really helpful. So parents can learn a lot.
You got to go deeper, though, don't you think, because don't you feel that, I mean, the parents in a lot of these cases are also participating, in the habit of the child. I mean, what do you think? A lot of this, the children are learning it.
Oh, definitely. It's learned behavior, 100%.
Yeah, so,
and it's just even, you don't even have to have an alcoholic parent to understand that when you see your family members drink and then you see the immediate release of tension. I mean, you see the initial immediate physical effects that alcohol and drugs have on a person, whether or not you know what's going on or you have the ability to like decipher it as a child.
I've got a question, Gordy. In my family dynamics, the ism was actually workaholicism. That's the abuse that I think my children witnessed. Do you address the different kinds of out-of-balance activities that society condones as trying to show kids that this will also produce an unhealthy human experience?
Yes, we do. At the moment, we're not, because we've been somewhat limited in the courses we can offer, but we do have an elective called, what's it called? I'm losing it.
Tell me what the class is about. It'll come to you.
It's about those kinds of addictions, process addictions, and there's something like 300 of them. If you walk around campus, you can see people walking around doing this and somehow getting where they're going.
The text phone itis.
Yes, and a few years ago, I offered some extra credit for students to give me their phones for 24 hours. You know,
Wow.
I didn't get any takers.
You should offer that now. I feel like our class would be able to do that.
But yes, it's true. You know, an addiction is anything that we feel we have to lie about. An addiction is usually a pathological relationship with something that has adverse consequences. And you can look at that in workaholism, but you can also see that in, for instance, anger addiction. And sometimes you get parents with anger addiction. And we talk a lot about, in our trainings, about perfectionism. Addicts and alcoholics, particularly parents, are perfectionistic, and kids don't get their needs met because they have to be perfect in order to be loved. And so we look at a lot of that and how that works. We also spend a lot of time with codependency, relationship addiction, and people addiction.
Which is very apparent, too, in youths. I mean, having an abusive relationship and codependent relationships, especially with just modern-day society and, you know, the kind of culture behind hooking up and relationships, it's a lot different than what it used to be. And really, people, you know, at least in my age group, you know, 18 to 24, have really no idealistic idea of what a relationship should be. It's all unhealthy. It's all kind of like this weird compilation of, you know, what other people think is supposed to be accurate in a relationship. It's really just no one really knows what they're doing. So I mean,
nobody really knows what they're doing.
We're all just like,
Well,
it doesn't. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't.
So 50% of all first marriages for the last 50 years end in divorce.
Right.
Okay, do we have a problem here? But we're not teaching our kids how to be in relationship. We're not teaching our kids how to be parents. And so we get people in relationships getting married, having children, who are untrained in a sense, really untrained. And
well, on that happy note, let's take a little break. Okay, we'll talk about it during break. Let's take a little break because we have a lot of new, fresh commercials, don't we, Susan Westberry? We'll listen to a good commercial, maybe. Okay, let's take a break. It's Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
All right, Dr. Dale Figtree, how are you?
I'm good.
I can't wait to hear your new commercial. I stared at you, and I go, have you done your commercial yet? Oh, maybe this week. Okay. Well, when you're Dr. Dale Figtree, you don't need a commercial, I guess. Oh. They just call you.
Well.
But we like to hear your commercial.
Me too. I'm curious too.
I know. I just can't wait.
Yeah.
All the commercials are Dr. Richard Dugan.
Yay.
Everybody's a doctor. We love you. You know, this is what we do. We like to support the community, build awareness, build community. What is the program? We love Santa Barbara. That's what we're doing. Can we real fast do what Susan we had a nice breakfast about a week ago, and then we had a nice lunch, and then we had another nice breakfast, and then we just were doing some brainstorming. And let's just say what you're doing. This is what Susan Westberry, owner of
Citywide Merchant Solutions.
Okay, so this is what Susan has agreed to do. Let's just listen. Everyone's going to listen to the commercial, but this is what she's doing.
Well, we had a conversation, and we were talking about a lot of nonprofits in our community and way to give back as business owners. So I said, you know what? I process credit cards for a lot of businesses here in Santa Barbara. So why not give back a percentage of what we're collecting in fees to local communities?
Because I said I love Santa Barbara. Go ahead.
So I said, well, this is what we should do. Any company that processes with Citywide Merchant Solutions and mentions Teen Sports Radio, not only will you be saving at least 30% on your processing.
Because we love Santa Barbara.
Because we love Santa Barbara, and we want business owners to keep as much as the money that they earn.
Because we love Santa Barbara.
Because we love Santa Barbara. But also, we're going to give back to some local charities.
Because we love Santa Barbara.
So by doing this, the easiest, fastest way to do it is every time someone swipes a credit card, you get charged. Everybody does if you collect credit cards. Why not give that money back to the community?
Because we love Santa Barbara.
Because we love Santa Barbara.
Right.
And that would be a nonprofit of your choice. So
of the business's choice. I mean, they could. So if you own a business, right, you could say, well, what nonprofit? And I'm going to say, can they pick it? Let the business pick their favorite nonprofit. You know, not like Facebook when they pound you on your birthday, you know. Oh, God, it so annoyed me, you know. Like, no, let the person's birthday girl. What I said, I know she's bugging me right now. No. I want the person, I would like you, if you want to donate, I want you to pick your nonprofit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I would love that better let the business owner pick the nonprofit. That makes more sense to me. Okay, go ahead.
And we could also put a sign there that says, by using your credit card, a percentage of the fees or percentage of the swipes are going back to this community.
Yes.
So you can also put a sign in your store, if you like, that you're contributing a percentage of your sales to this charity.
Whatever your charity
Whatever
is.
that is.
And then this was the rub. We couldn't think of the name to call this great, you know, charitable thing. And then we started staring at each other. And then it came to us.
Love Santa Barbara.
Perfect.
Why am I the only one clapping? Yes. Right? Thank you so much. Can I have a hug?
Yes.
Let's hug it out.
Hug it out.
Hug it out. Oh.
Sharing the love already.
I'll go steal the mic for a second. I'm going to make a plug. I don't know how many people remember this, but SBCC is participating in a program called The Promise. And SBCC is helping all Santa Barbara high school graduates, and I believe it's Santa Barbara County, if I'm not mistaken.
It's South County.
South County.
From Goleta to Carpinteria.
Goleta to Carpinteria. Graduate with a high school diploma, and you can go to SBCC if you go within the first year and you take a full load of classes.
You get 2 years with full tuition and books and supplies paid for.
That is so amazing.
Incredible.
So that is a wonderful nonprofit to donate
And
to.
that's actually done through the City College Foundation.
Oh, she's plugging the Promise program. That's adorable. But listen, you could. We love that program. We love the Promise program. But no pressure, business owner. You can pick whatever program you want, and we love you. Right here, Susan. We love you. We love you. Okay,
Love
Dr.
Santa
Dale.
Barbara.
Dr. Dale, it's all you right now.
Oh, dear.
We love
Okay,
you.
well, what do we talk about today?
We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. You brought a guest. We want to talk about you. We want to talk about what you do. We want to talk about your book. We want to talk about whatever you want.
Okay, well, well, as a nutritionist, I feel like my job is to help educate people to basic common sense that what supports health more than anything else is fuel, really good fuel for the body. And the body is capable of extraordinary healing, extraordinary support. I mean, it's beyond what most people realize is possible. And we've lost that in this society because of the interest of manufacturers, and people are just trained to put things in their body. They forget that this is fuel. They forget that this is what their cells are made from. And more people are coming down with allergies, and childhood cancer is just like raging. It's horrendous. And so it's coming back to the basics of realizing that the body knows how to heal, it knows how to keep itself well, if it has the support and the fuel to do so. So in that way, I feel like, my work is just bottom line, basic common sense, grassroots. And that's really that's the work.
I love equating it to fuel because I grew up thinking about food as medicine, but everything in life as fuel actually embraces even more. You've got clean air, you've got clean water, you've got physical activity. Everything is actually fuel for the body. That's a beautiful way to look at it.
Yeah, and medicine is interesting because really it's the body that heals. I mean, if you put the fuel and the raw materials in the body is then able to go beyond what it normally does, and it's able to go deeper, and its main work is just survival. You know, I like to share the metaphor of if someone's running from a bear, it's like they can run faster than is considered humanly possible. It's like, explain that. You know, they can jump higher than is humanly possible. Our body's capacity to take care of itself, to support healing, to survive is, as I say, beyond what most people realize. And the way to engage that kind of intensity is the more fuel, the finer fuel, the more powerful the support. And statistics are now coming in again and again and again that this is just basic common sense. The communities and the countries that eat healthier, more wholesome, higher nutrients have far less disease than other countries that, you know, just live on the basic bread, chips, hot dogs, and whatever. And, you know, I think that this will be basic common sense in years to come. And when I first got involved in nutrition 40 years ago, if you were involved in nutrition, you were called a health nut.
Right.
And you were odd. But today, it's like, it's out there, and it's continuing. So I'm just delighted. And I'm delighted to be a part of it.
Well, I'm curious, maybe we can talk about after the break, if there is any relationship between food and mental health.
Good question.
Oh, well, let me just say that there is a group, or there used to be a group in New York of psychiatrists and psychologists. They refused to work with anybody who didn't also work with a nutritionist because they knew that if somebody's on a junk food diet, that their neurotransmitters are going to be deficient and out of whack. So absolutely, food has a powerful influence on mental health. Absolutely.
Good, powerful question. Let's take a break. Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. All right. Richard Ellsworth is in the house with us. I love that. See, he didn't know he was going to get interviewed, but Dr. Dale Figtree is going to interview him. All right, Richard, put your hands together. Aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, Richard, you wear many hats. And, I know you're a musician, you're a professional chef, is it an archaeologist?
Yeah.
An archaeologist, and now you want to move into the healing arts.
Correct.
And so do you see a connection between all of these things, or are they all very, very separate, or, I don't know. I'd like you to share with us just what it's like to have all these different talents and wear these different hats.
Certainly. I see a very, very strong connection, and I've sort of been following nutrition and food throughout all of them. And what drew me initially to archaeology, and specifically zooarchaeology, was looking at animal bones and connecting that to what early humans were using as their diet and what they were eating. To be able to learn from people that lived healthier lives and ate more broad spectrum diets, were incorporating more nutrients and nutrition into their lives. And sort of connecting that to culinary arts and food service is an easy connection, but to sort of realize that we can cook delicious foods and make it look, incredible, like a 5-star restaurant, but also have it be incredibly healing and powerful for the body. So going on a slightly different path now to explore nutrition sort of bridges everything together in a way that I think will create huge leaps forward as we really figure out how to most empower our bodies through nutrition.
Fantastic. And I want to say that Richard's Facebook page, every day, there's he does a photograph of a breakfast, a lunch, or dinner he's made for himself, and they are just outrageous. I mean, really outrageous. It's constantly just blowing people away that see such just fancy, beautiful dishes that are so incredibly healthy at the same time.
Pause for Erica to jump on Facebook.
That's right.
So what inspired you to start doing that and sharing in that way?
I think growing up, sort of working in restaurants, I learned a lot about what I would like to do and what I certainly would not like to do. And in a lot of restaurants, health is not really a big thing. And I saw with my own diet, my health sort of just go in a direction that I didn't like. And that's when I met Dale, and she showed me this incredible world of nutrition that allowed me to incorporate that into my life and everything that I do. And I was just able to see rapid healing just unfold in this huge way that makes me want to be able to share it with everyone.
So, what does your meal prep include? Because I feel like one of the biggest things I know for like families is that meal prep can be a huge part of it. Like once you prepare, it's easier to like make the meals. So, what does that entail for you?
Okay, well, it's actually fairly simple. Usually, these meals, which tend to be fairly elaborate in presentation, are actually incredibly simple, and the ingredients take a very short amount of time to throw together. And it really has to do with, I keep everything in jars, and I keep it all ready. Some stuff is in the refrigerator, some stuff isn't. Then when I have to throw it together, I just mix it up and make it look nice, and that's easy.
So is it plant-based, or do you cut out like gluten, or is it like what does it contain? Like what is like your main dietary like intake consist of?
It really just consists of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and some grains, but not gluten.
Wonderful. Okay, that's awesome.
So very simple, yeah.
Okay, no meat either?
Occasional proteins, yeah,
Okay.
But limited.
Great.
And also beans.
Beans, yep.
Beans are really good too.
Yep.
And the bottom line with this is that if there's ways to present food, whether it's fresh or whether it's cooked, to maintain.
I'm blowing you up
nutrient
right
levels.
now.
It's health, yeah.
So we're talking about food that is not highly processed.
Okay.
And we're also talking about using food that is not low in nutrients. So that eliminates pasta, unless you want to spiralize zucchini, and then it's fantastic.
Or
It eliminates
rice.
most bread, unless you make almond bread or something that, it's for every treat. There's actually a way to learn how to make it so it maintains its integrity and its nutrients. Absolutely. But unfortunately, the usual diet out there is full of things that do not have enough nutrients. And then
Oh, yeah. I actually found out I had an allergic reaction to yeast. And so once I cut yeast out, that eliminated a lot of sugar, breads, everything. I was essentially high on life, when I was that healthy. And I just ate like almond butter and spinach and occasionally some eggs and non-fat yogurt.
Exactly.
And it was essentially the most incredible experience health-wise. In tying it back to mental health, incredible drastic changes. There's a perspective that we study in my sociology class where it has to do with people's ability to become a criminal or susceptible to mental health because of their diet or their sugar intake. So diet's incredible.
So what you're describing is changing to a diet that is extremely high in nutrients and very low in empty calorie food that creates too much sugar rushes and imbalances in the body.
It's just all about
not
the homeostasis.
Complicated.
Yeah, very simple.
Back to you.
Okay, we're going to take a little break. Okay, everyone's passing around pictures. I think I was picking my nose. That's okay. I could say this on the radio. All right, this is seriously. I think I was. All right, this is Erica Salda. Take a little break. We're back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. The best shows are the ones that just go, oh my God, we have 3.5 minutes. That's how you know it's a good show, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love this group. Okay, all right, so I declare everybody here who wants to be a co-host, raise your hand, because we're a little low on co-host.
Me.
Yay! Put your hands up. Yay, everybody, yes. Susan, co-host. Yay, co-host. Eden, yes, you've got to be a co-host. You know what? I need you to bridge, your group at CC, because I like what you said. They're not going to listen to your peer group needs to go in because of your, I don't even know if you can. I don't know what are you allowed to go to kids and start talking? Can you? Yes. Yeah. Are you allowed?
Why not?
Gordy? Yeah, right? Why not? Right? Yeah. Because an older person, right, Kahla, you would more or less listen to somebody, right?
For sure.
Right?
When you see an adult, it's like hard to relate, I guess,
right?
in a way.
Exactly.
And then it's like a peer or something.
No rub. I just want to know who you're going to listen to. If I go in, hey, don't do drugs, right? I don't smoke. I don't drink. Follow, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't work, right? Fail, crash,
not.
burn. Okay, good.
But I think
Let's tell the truth.
It's about it's
Be real.
with youth. It's the ability to
Didn't like making those posters.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just think it's with youth. It's just really the ability with parents and with adults in positions of authority, basically to just form healthy relationships, and that comes down to their mental health. It comes down to what they eat and how they have relationships with their own bodies and just their sense of self, ideally, and just how they view the world around them and their perception. It needs to be healthy, but it stems from relationships with other individuals. So it comes down to your own personal.
Okay, Kahla?
Yes.
Yes, you agree?
I 100% agree.
Okay. You concur?
Yes.
Okay.
So may I make a suggestion?
Yes.
That maybe Eaton should come.
Yes, I would love that. I just met her, and I already I love just everything.
I like the way you match. I think you're magic right
Oh
there.
yeah, I
like
feed
the
off her
yin
energy.
yang. I feel yin yang right there.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got to integrate food, Dr. Dale. Food. We got to talk about
Food is
food.
so
Food is very
Yeah,
important.
well, it's the foundation.
Food, right?
It's the foundation.
Okay.
It's just to be the best that
Right.
you can be,
Right.
to have good fuel to give your body
Right.
the capacity to work the best it's capable of working.
Right.
I mean, what can I say?
Right.
It's simple, not complicated.
So we got to throw Richard in. He's cute, right? Richard.
Absolutely.
You're not doing anything.
How do you mean?
You could talk and you could bring your what? What do you play?
The violin.
We could bring in the violin
Fiddle.
and fiddle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Put some music. Do you sing?
I can.
He could sing, and he could just bring that home, right? I think we could make a little band or something. We could reach the kids, right?
Yes.
We could form a thing. We
The
could.
number one thing is
Right.
being educated,
Okay.
which is a bit only this week alone. Like
Right.
I've gone up to gave a presentation about something. I realized the biggest thing is being educated will protect you.
There you go. All right, I think that's it till next week. Santa Barbara, be kind, love SB. Woo! God bless. See you next week.
The best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.